Great day at Brooks Landscaping. Back at it again, folks. Another outdoor landscape drainage solution that is absolutely going to blow your mind. That's right. We're taking all of the water that's coming from the neighbor's yard and we're getting rid of that once and for all by putting it into this beautiful dry creek bed. Now, one of the reasons why I create these dry creek beds is because I understand the magnitude of the impact that it will have on a landscape for a lifetime, as it's going to be able to take that water through this property and deal with it in the most effective way. So let me show you really quick what we got going on. All the water that is coming off of this neighbor's yard, from the neighbor's yard, each neighbor's yard, is falling into this area here where you see a tremendous amount of erosion based on those what we call mossy areas, which is just acidic areas that have a lot of water that is set there for a while, and that's what it's doing. It's falling into this area and it's moving to the path of least resistance. But what you can see happening, folks, is with this design that I've come up with, is that it's going to allow for us to put in this beautiful custom Brooks Landscaping dry creek bed that's going to be able to take that water that is moving on this landscape and appropriate it into this area down here where it already has a covert where that water wants to go. And so by us being able to design this in a way that gives this customer a design that lasts a lifetime with the beautiful decorative river rock, but also doing it in a way that allows them to be able to see the solution of being able to have that water go directly into this storm covert, it absolutely solves a problem, but it does so in the most effective way, because these beautiful decorative river rock are going to give this landscape the necessary design that it needs in order to give the customer the solution that they desire. And you can already see it shaping itself up in an exceptional fashion just based on the way that it's looking currently. You can see the way that that water is going to be able to move in this dry creek bed. Absolutely beautiful what we're about to do here, guys, and stay tuned as we get ready to continue to show you ways in which you can begin to take control over your landscape. If you have a lot of areas that have water and erosion, you can begin to take control over those areas by just simply coming up with cost-effective landscape solutions. And so one of those are the dry creek bed. That's what you see happening here. Now with the dry creek bed, we're basically taking out about 6.5 inches of dirt and about 4 foot wide, and that allows us to be able to appropriate that water to a specific area, guys. And by being able to appropriate that water so that it can now flow, we only have to come back with an erosion control fabric and then our decorative river rock, which you'll see later. But with that design, you're able to control the water flow. You're able to ensure that that water flow that you now have control over is directed toward the path of least resistance, and you're able to give a long-standing, lifelong-standing design with the river rock, so that it also gives you a nice backdrop. The customer's gonna come back in and plant over here. She loves to do a lot of outside gardening herself. And so these are just some of the ways in which she's gonna be able to utilize her landscape. But I did want you guys to see the effectiveness of a dry creek bed, because one of the biggest issues that we see with a lot of landscapes is that there's nowhere to take the water. When you have a designated location, I guess the biggest question is, how do you deal with all the water that's coming through this fence? There's a lot of water that's falling through this fence here, guys, and that water is falling through this fence over here. And when that begins to happen, you can see the erosion patterns of the landscape. You'll see where there's going to be now more dirt exposed, and it's going to also start laying way to erosion. But what do you do? Well, the solution is you begin to come up with a dry creek bed, and that's what we've become famous for. That's what we've become known for, our custom Brooks Landscaping dry creek beds, because they not only solve a problem, but they enhance the landscape in a magnitude that hasn't been seen when it comes to drainage solutions. And that's what makes us separate. And so if you want to be separate, if you want to be different, if you want to grow and you want to continue to thrive in whatever it is that you do, never settle for mediocrity. Never settle for that which is easy to do. You see, I learned a long time ago in life, if you do what is hard, your life becomes easier. But if you always try to do what is easy, then inevitably your life becomes harder. And that's right. I've seen that in my own life. If we want to try to get to the next level, whatever we're doing, whether it's being a parent, whether it's growing our business, whether it's just simply being one of the best employees you can, being a great staff member, being a great teammate, it's going to be also about the way in which you're able to grow your mind. And so by growing your mind, you can begin to change a lot of stuff that's happening in your life. By changing the thing that you're thinking about, you can begin to change a lot of things that's happening in your life. And at Landscape Drainage Solutions, us at Brooks Landscaping, at Live Life Now 365, at the Landscape Geek Learning Academy, at Social Media Marketing Group. These are all companies that I own. These are ways in which I continue to elevate my mind. And so I think that you guys can see that it's definitely something that we're prideful on when it comes to giving our customers more quality, more quantity of service than that of what could be expected. And that's exactly what we've been able to do thus far. So as you can see, that dry creek bed is now being taken out, and it's also being designed. It's a necessary design here. And that design is giving us a way to say that we know exactly where that water is going to go on this landscape. And that's just what we do right here at Brooks Landscaping.